Hey guys, it's Austin Awkward. I am Adam. I know many of you depend upon me for your Spokane area weather forecast. I can tell you right now, it is snowing and it is stupidly cold. So, welcome to Spokane. Hey, we're getting towards the end of this whole year of making weekly videos, and I realized that I'm running out of opportunities to say things. So I'm going to quickly try to go through a list of things that bother me and why they make me awkward. First, people who call their pets children. I find this very awkward because I immediately feel the need to then correct them and tell them that, you know, children are uniquely and infinitely valuable, and pets are just animals, and that's awkward, right? Second, restaurants who serve Pepsi products. Hey, we've talked about this before. Pepsi is the devil's beverage, and I find myself not going to restaurants that serve Pepsi products, even though the food might be good, and which is kind of awkward because people are like, why don't we go to? And I'm like, no, they serve Pepsi products. So it can be kind of awkward. People who honk at pedestrians, this is especially awkward for me because it's one of the few times where I actually kind of lose my cool and I get really upset at people, which is awkward in general, right? Because, you know, I got a list too, by the way. That's what I'm looking at. And trying to do this while moving and getting snowed on is difficult. And I can't have a glove on my right hand, so it's freezing. So this whole process is a little awkward too. Other things that I find to be awkward: social media posts that make me think. Well, why is that awkward, Adam? Well, because there's two things. Either I have to stop and spend some time in critical thought, maybe research, to decide whether or not that post is going to change the way I think, or is going to challenge me in some way that is meaningful, or I can just be the guy who doesn't and just ignores those things and goes on living in ignorance. So either choice is valid, but both are awkward because they require effort and time, or they require being ignorant. So extraordinarily short people bother me. They don't really bother me. It's just that I feel like when I see someone who's extraordinarily short, I want to tell them, not like a person who's like got a different classification as a dwarf or something like that, but like just people who are really short, because I want to talk about it. And a lot of people, I don't think, like to talk about how short they are. They find it a little rude, I think. And I can't help myself though, because I'm like, oh my goodness, you're really short compared to me, you're like a midget. And that's awkward, not good conversation. There's people who like baseball. I don't like baseball. I think it's a game for old white guys to like, and I'm not old, although I am a white and a guy. So it is one of those things that when people start talking about it, I'm like, oh man, I love basketball and I love soccer and I can even like football, but that's something I don't like about. So the one thing that I feel like universally I can talk to people about, which is sports, is then taken away from me because you like baseball and I know nothing about it and I don't really want to know anything about it. Oh, and finally, perspective. Perspective is one of those things that the older you get, the more experience you have, the more awkward your life looks behind you, right? And the experiences you had before. So it is one of those things that makes me feel more and more awkward about my past, the more perspective I get. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this snowy day, and I am looking forward to joining you a couple more times before this year is out.